The Hub Radio.
Greetings, I'm Brother Alim. I'm the CEO and the founder of New Black Wall Street. I'm very happy and excited to have this opportunity to speak to you about some of the pervading issues in our community today. You know, you can't solve a problem with the same level of consciousness that created. The question is one of why are things the way they presently are in the black community? You know, we often hear people speak, and if we were to put it in the context of the tree, basically the information we've received so far at best is leaf and fruit knowledge. Today I want to talk about root knowledge. America was founded on the principle of violence. Therefore, it is ingrained in the energetic field of America. So when you hear people talk about this land is my land, when you hear individuals talk about borders, understand that these are code words for white supremacy. Make America great again. When it comes to black people in America, we are the offspring of a mindset of global white supremacy and dominance. Being such, they altered our nature in a way in which we today have violent tendencies that are ingrained in us against each other. Violence is not ingrained in our natural original state, but the way that we're conditioned today, we see it prevalent. The question is, why is it there's so much violence in the inner cities of America? You know, for years I've always told people that the supreme symbol of intelligence is the question mark. And what I mean by that is that look at the word question, right? And so the word means quest, eye on. Whenever we ask a question, we must be willing to not only hear an answer that we don't agree with, but to be able to decipher that answer to understand the unique perspective of an individual. When we look at black people today, we can go to the subject of language. When we understand linguistics, example, English. When we look at English, we understand that it's not even 1,500 years old. But in the context of us as black people in America, everything that we want to know is connected to that word English. What do you mean? Well, when we arrived here, and then some of our ancestors were already here, we didn't speak this language. English comes from England. Therefore, everything under the language, which is global dominance of us as a people to lock us into a language that's not Semitic. You know, Semitic languages are written from right to left. Non-Semitic languages are written from left to right. When you talk about Europeans, they have a language that's not in tune with the rhythmic sounds of nature. And so their language is locked based upon them being locked in a 6,000-year cycle. So under English is religion, under English is culture, under English is a way in which they express themselves. So the solution for us is to understand that we are the children of global white supremacy. They ingrained us with violent tendencies. So we can't do better until we know better. We see the outpicturing today of self-hate. So they program us mentally. We have to go back to the mindset. Politics doesn't have a solution. You cannot legislate an individual to think different. On the highways and the byways of America, you cannot legislate a police officer who has hateful tendencies towards an individual in the community that they're pulling over. You can't legislate that. You can't retrain that. You can't reprogram that. You have to deal with root knowledge. We're entering a period today in which we must begin to understand that we need something new. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a change. So when we see these powder kegs that we call ghettos, and the real ghetto is in Germany where they have Warsaw where the real niggas are at. But anyway, that's another subject. So when we talk about our subject today, inner city violence, why is it so prevalent in places like Chicago? Look, you see two black men have the same skin, have the same complexion, and they have inner hatred towards each other. What is the nature of man? Let's break him down. It's testosterone. What is testosterone? A dominant, a cultivating, a conquering hormone. If in fact a man is not in tune with his mental and his heartfelt passion, then he seeks to dominate and to control the circumference in which he's in. So when you see that individuals are fighting over crumbs in the ghetto, they don't have the cultural roots. See, we as a black community, we don't agree And since we don't agree, there is no unity. There's only unity through agreement. If all those black men knew their true history and culture, it boosts their self-esteem. They would have more patience, more tolerance, more understanding with another black man. They would see his struggle as my struggle. They wouldn't see the separation, the false appearance of divide and conquer that's been ingrained into us, that was put into us by Europeans. That's not our nature. Our nature is humanity. Our nature is honor. Our nature is family. Their nature is divide, conquer, murder, kill, war. That's what their nature is. So they have switched our nature. So now whenever you have a group of men, the darkest night of any man's life is when he sits down at the table trying to figure out how to earn money without making it honorably. These are soldiers that's willing to take a risk to put food on their table. These are soldiers that are willing to do whatever it takes to put some money in their pocket. Now, that's the first part of their expression of their manhood, which is good. The challenge of it is the means. So we as a community, we as elders, we've failed our young people because we haven't created the proper infrastructure for them to be able to channel and guide their natural genius in a way in which we can change our circumstance. Now you add a preponderance of liquor stores in depressed communities. You allow individuals to get liquor license in our communities more rapidly than other communities. And you understand that this right here, this liquor, it knows the natural family, genius, creative tendencies inside of us. Now, when you do this, you're creating an environment. You understand, if a man's energy is not channeled in a positive directive, it's going to be channeled in a way in which it's going to be destructive for him and his community. So Chicago, Los Angeles, Atlanta, any city today that is experiencing a lot of violence is based upon this principle. We have not created the proper infrastructure. We have external factors that are shaping and molding and contributing. And then we have the unseen hand of police officers and the government that are exacerbating tensions between individuals. So the solution is what? How do we stop it? This is the solution. Solution number one, it's going to take exactly 50 years to change the collective consciousness in our community. What do I mean by that? No nation rises higher than its woman. A true revolutionary in the black community understands that when you teach a man, you teach an individual. When you teach a woman, you teach a nation. So it's imperative for us to make a line in which we educate our women. Now this is very challenging in today's time, because a European has done something very creative to tantalize the hearts and minds of our women by his fashion and his magic and his little trinkets. So it's very challenging, but we can do it. Now, as we're able to spread this word of love and unity to black women, they're able to pass it down to their seeds. We have something today that's great. It has some negative components, but it has some positive components. Every single black person in America today, within themselves, are their own media outlet. We have freedom of expression. They gave us the internet and didn't understand how powerful it's going to be. Ha ha! We got you. You messed up. But we're going to take full advantage of it. We're going to continue to communicate with each other. Hey, brother, how you doing there in Miami? How you doing in New York? I'm in Los Angeles. Carson right now. Good to talk to you, family. Solutions is I can speak to you freely. You can speak to me freely. Now what we have to do is this. We have to galvanize our resources. So what is happening is all across the world, black people are embracing their natural hair. That allows us to set up our own natural beauty supplies. The solution is economic. And when we have an economic solution, when all black America can agree on this one thing, just one thing, listen to me, that we should control the economy in our community. When there's a unilateral agreement, solution. Now we'll be able to take action from that agreement and how we're going to do it. We have to use our individual media outlet to encourage our young people not to get a job, which means just over broke, but to be creators of wealth, right? We have to encourage them to be builders. We have to start them young. So this is what we're doing in New Black Wall Street. We are teaching financial literacy. Our goal is to raise up 1 million new entrepreneurs, because in raising up 1 million new entrepreneurs, we take all of our creative genius and we create the infrastructure. Look, family, $1.3 trillion leaves our community. when there's an agreement that we should control the economy, when there's a merge of our young people wanting to set up businesses, within 50 years, these women are going to give birth to new children who have new levels of understanding. They don't just aspire to be basketball, football, baseball players, rappers, and singers, but they desire to be business owners. When we see our young people expressing themselves today in the field of entrepreneurship, that is the solution. It's money, money, money. Look, when you got money, you feel on top of the world. When you ain't got a nickel, feel like the world on top of you. So right now, the solution is money, 50 years, and we begin by giving the conversation, taking action, and that's what we do in the New Black Wall Street. Business, leadership, and knowledge. BLK, New Black Wall Street.